What's going on, everybody? It is THORChain and Chill. Little Bunny, I think, is transmitting sound on his end. I better stop screaming. You guys are going to hear me twice. Are you guys ready? This is going to be the first episode of something we're calling THORChain and Chill. For those who may not be familiar, this is something that Jane Butterfly and myself were doing a while ago on Spaces. We're going to make it a podcast form. Here it is, you guys. We have really awesome members of the community who just get together, who are contribute to a lot of cool stuff, but they don't get their time on stream. People don't get to see them, hear them. We're changing that. We got some amazing people lined up today, and I know you guys want to hear from them. You don't want to hear from me. Totally get it, because you guys hear my stupid voice all the time. So let's go through the list here. I'm going to go with someone who got me into THORChain, trained me. So the first guy, he is the moderator OG. His name is Sam Yap. I call him Yap Master, and I call him Master Yap. I have two nicknames for him. Sir, how are you doing? Give us an introduction.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Right, yep, Sam Yup, moderator OG, I guess that's what they're calling me today. Been in THORChain, I don't know, 5-6 years now, right? Actually, I started modding after Jane. We talk about Jane later. But yeah, been modding ever since with AltTC as well. So, how are you guys doing?
Dude, fucking awesome. I'm so glad you're here, dude. Thank you so much for joining. I never get to talk to you, buddy. I've interacted with you for like 6 years. We've gone through the craziest things together, and we've probably spoken to each other for no more than 10 minutes. That is ridiculous. That's changing today, buddy. You better believe it. Jane, how you doing, Jane? Give us a little introduction of yourself.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm doing great. And yeah, like what Samuel has said, I've been around. My first day to be around in THORChain community is 2000. I started 2020, but as a moderator, March 2021. But I'm jumping in and out. I'm not like Sam, right? All along available to the community since day one. So I jumping in and out, and then get involved with Valdisic. And now today, together with Danny and also Hippocampus, taking care of runebond.com. Thank you.
Yeah, runebond.com. If you guys want to be a node operator, reach out. We'll get you hooked up. We will also get you on the website and get you some freaking bond providers so you can get turned in. That's what it's all about. Let's go down the list here. We got Little Bunny. I want to call this guy Big Bunny. You're a big guy, dude. How's it going, Little Bunny? Why don't you give us a little introduction of yourself, my guy?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks a lot, Danny. Yeah, nice to be here. I've been around for 5 years. Since the early Rujira, or actually Kujira back then days. And that naturally evolved into THORChain in the last 2 years. And yeah, super excited to be here, man. Good to see you too.
Dude. Yeah, so good. Thank you again for joining, man. And guys, this has been a really difficult thing with our time zone differences. Well, really, I'm the outlier here. These guys are all pretty similar. But thank you guys for waking up early to do this with me. You are absolutely awesome. Let's go to last, but certainly not least, a Frenchman, Jambone. What's going on, buddy? Give us an introduction of yourself.
Hey, man. Yeah, same as the other guys. I've been around for a few years now. Starting with Kujira, obviously, with my nickname right now. Back in Terra, I was not really involved back then, but actually I was more involved when started with the L1. And after a lot of investment, both time and money, I was like, okay, this is my home now. It's a bit destroyed. I gotta make it up. I gotta repair. I gotta help however I can, So I've been grinding along with Little Bunny, with PM, with Erudite, all these guys. Well, Erudite came after actually, but still. So yeah, it's been a ride, I gotta say. And I knew THORChain back then, but I was not really involved. So I got involved with with Rujira coming along. So that's cool. I'm happy to be here and to see everyone. Actually, I know everyone by name. I've been talking to Samya, Jane, also in private and other groups, of course. But it's nice to be all here together today. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, it's so funny you mentioned Luna. I think really that sort of kind of brought us all together in some ways, right? I mean, we got hit hard by Luna. I'm assuming you got hit harder, right? But I definitely lost money during Luna. Sam, yep, I think you probably got hurt on that one as well. That was a really tough time, but I'm really glad, it's kind of ironically, it's led to the birth of a shared ecosystem now where you have THORChain, Kujira, which is now Rujira. You guys, the hat, right? So, dude, this is awesome. This is really awesome. Thank you guys for doing this. This is really cool.
I think you can call it a trauma bond maybe here, right?
Yeah. Well, what we're proposing to do is pretty crazy. Go ahead, little bunny.
Yeah, not just a trauma bond, but this is where it kind of all started also with this whole philosophy. Sorry, I'm going to jump right in. But 5 years ago, when you, like on Terra Luna, that's where Kujira started. They had their IDO, they had like public sale and everything. And they wanted to disrupt this whole, this field of having like making liquidations accessible for everyone. So where people were like, they were borrowing, they were lending out their assets, their ETH, and they could borrow USDC against it. But at some point, of course, like when there's a liquidation of that loan, right, it needs to be sold. And I think in the early days, it was only for those technical enough to bid on those liquidations to buy those liquidations. And because of Kujira, they basically democratized access to that. And that's where it all started. And this whole philosophy has been around the whole Kujira community for like the last 5 years. And of course, after Terra, after it all imploded and collapsed, within 2 months after that, Kujira and Code Hans, and all the others actually who were involved with Kujira, they said, okay, we have a snapshot, we're gonna continue building on our own blockchain in the Cosmos. And yeah, they brought that whole community with us of people that believed in this fair opportunity, this fair system. They kept expanding with products, but also this was the new home for, those people who had some Kujira tokens and who were affected by Terra and hoping, for better. This is kind of how it started. But this ethos, this mindset of we can have a fair opportunity for everyone. There are liquidations, but everyone can participate and bid up to 30%. This whole philosophy, this is a core foundation of Rujira. And Kujira back then, now Rujira. So this is super awesome. And I think it's good to share this.
Yeah, can I jump in? Well, although that you all know about me, I'm the butterfly in THORChain community, but behind the scene, I was one of the early investor for Kujira. So if I recall the memory back then, right, in 2021, I think together with Samya, with the community, as a THORChain community, we are so hyped up with the Terra Luna ecosystem. And then at some point also, we really tried it out, do all the, borrow money, leverage on it. And then after that, like what Little Bunny mentioned about the Kujira philosophy, about the bidding system, about the liquidity bidding system, which I really loved it. You can really Okra, if I'm not mistaken, the name called Okra, the system that you can really bid on what people, correct, right? You can really bid on what people liquidated, right? With buying Bitcoin or whatever, with a discounted price. And then later on, the whole incident happened and everybody really going through the roller coaster ride. And then fast forward to when I went to the crypto event together with the team for Valdisic in Dubai. I remember that was the first time I met Hans and a couple of folks in Dubai together with JP and everyone else. And that was, I think, I'm not sure is it really true, but I do believe that there was a period of time, the bond, that was the time that they really created Rujira. Wanted to bring the whole Kujira community ecosystem into part of the THORChain. And that's where the Rujira name started, I guess, which is 2024, around October, November. That is my memory about how THORChain and Rujira then become Rujira come about being part of the ecosystem, being part of the community.
Yeah, I remember you sent some pictures back then. I remember seeing those like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, I took a selfie with Hans.
Yeah. I was like, that's what Hans looks like. Okay, interesting. I always think he looks like the memes he keeps sending, like the guy from the TV show. But actually not.
I know, right? It's totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
some
no idea that
people-
was a comedian. Go ahead.
And some people think we are just cats and butterflies, right?
Yeah, legit.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll
Right.
share a bit of a personal take as well, right? I was also like monitoring Rujira back in Lunar days. I was looking at it. I was not like doing the liquidations, right? But when Rujira started with, I think that was after when it were standalone chain, right? Started doing order books on chain order books, right? Then there was a point in time like, wow, right? These Rujira devs are great, right? It would be nice if you have the Rujira devs and the THORChain devs doing it together, right? And really building on each other. And that was years back. And here we are now. Amazing.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting point that was brought up by a couple of people. Like we should have the Rujira devs and THORChain devs doing it together and have some dev babies that are like killing it.
Yeah, because when
So-
you think about the liquidations, like what you just talked about, Little Bunny, is like the problem was like on its old L1, there was not enough people buying the discounted tokens. But like now on THORChain, it's perfect because, well, you have enough liquidity, you have enough volume going around to actually absorb the liquidations. So that's like just from the first app perspective is actually already a great match without talking about all the other stuff you can do together. So yeah, it was actually kind of a dream because what Rujira was missing was actually liquidity, and that's what THORChain could offer. So it was a bit rocky at first because there was no. I remember like when it started building on THORChain ADR issues and stuff. But I think like we're grinding and coming along, and now it's actually better every day. So I mean, there are still issues, obviously, as we can all see in the group chats, but I think it's going well. I think it's going up at least for sure.
Yeah, it's going well, and this is also because of a new design. I'm not sure everyone listening is up to date on that, but on Rujira, it was more like an isolated market, and if you wanted to bid on these liquidations, you were like only bidding from like one pool. So if there is not enough liquidity to bid on the liquidations, then you can get like a difficult situation, so to say. And now the whole design is basically public. So the liquidations, they are sold in the Rujitrade order book. And because the Rujira trade, we're going to rename it to Rujira trade actually. The Rujira trade order book is, connected to THORChain base layers with the virtualization strategy. So it's basically connected to all the like public global liquidity. So of course you can still get some discounts, but they might be bought up quicker and they might lead to opportunities for others as well to chip in. But I think that's the power now. It's less of a closed system, but more open. So in the end, it will be able to process much more liquidations and liquidity. The key now is to just attract volume, attract users. But they need to come and borrow. But we have a great money market now. You can borrow Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, like all these major assets are in there. And you can even have multi-collateral accounts, right? So you can have, okay, I want to borrow USDC or USDT, and you're just going to borrow with BTC, with ETH, with LTC, just a basket of different assets. And soon in the future, you can also choose which one you want to liquidate first. So maybe you want to have your Dogecoin liquidated first because it's more of a meme coin. Okay, liquidate that one first, and Bitcoin needs to be liquidated last. It's super cool what's going on. And capital efficiency at its finest. And I could tell you more about this in a bit. So I see the question already. Can you borrow against your LP position? So this is something that's coming. It's not live yet, but this is something that we definitely plan or Rujira has definitely
Yeah.
planned to do this.
You know what I'm going to say is that, one thing that I really observe, right, Danny, although all these people, this like community chat, do you notice that almost all these people, like in some way, each of individual is not just a normal community member. It's really learn the technical deep enough to actually really explain to people what are this protocol are doing and what are the functions that around, right? Like I think because while Little Bunny is speaking, I kind of like looking each other, then I kind of like thinking each of individual has our own strength in a way, different area. Yeah, right. So like Sam Yap, my God, when we all first started during the THORChain community in just only on Telegram, even before the whole Discord dev Discord being started, I think everybody on the Telegram first, and then for all you know, later on Sam Yap jumped on the Discord. I jumped on the Discord as well, and he learned so fast about on the technical perspective, and I become a moderator for the dev Discord as well since then. Yeah. Then now
So
Little Bunny
could
is
you
like about Rujira can talk into all such technical stuff is so in depth as well, or about the features. I think now Jumbo want to add on something about technical
yeah,
again.
sorry, I just wanted to ask you, you, Jane, and Samyap, like, could you, because we came in, like, THORChain was already established, there was already Telegram, Discord, even 2 Discords, well, only 1 now, but can you walk us through, like, how it started, how did you guys made the Telegram? Was it only Discord back then? How was THORChain back then? I have actually no idea. If you can maybe put a few words on that.
Let me get started. Then when come to the Discord, I'll pass to Samia because that was when I jump in and out already.
Okay.
So my very first time I get into the THORChain community, it was back in August 2020. And back then, the only admin that being so active, it was Jartin. You know, the chatting guy, the one that a lot of impersonators.
Yes.
You know, when I was so new, trying to learn about what is THORChain, and then wow, this admin DM me. I was like, what is this community about to me, right? It's like, how come keep asking me how many of rune that I have? I need to have a record. And I was like, shit, community. Why on earth you need to know how much your investor holding or whatever, right? On the first day I jumped into the community. So I was like, damn it, I quit the whole Telegram. And that's the only channel that you will see the community beside Twitter. But Twitter also have a lot of scammer, as you all know, right? And then later on, I'm not sure how, there is another OG back then called Me How. I'm not sure you all remember or even know him. And then he was the one that on Twitter that telling me, hey, Jane, the butterfly. Okay, nobody know me as a Jane, right? I'm not even as a butterfly back then. Another nickname. And then he told me, hey, there are a lot of scammer impersonator. Whoever DM you is not the actual admin. So join again. Just don't chat with people on the DM. So back then, you can imagine that he was the only admin in on the Telegram, right? The whole THORChain community. Then later on, in the background, I learned about it. That's where also we started the single chain LP on the BEP2. And that's where we all learn about the LP. Is this some laugh until like that? And then on Twitter, we start to share about what is the liquidity pool about. How shall we earn about the graphic, right? That every day see the changes, earning or loss, impermanent loss, blah, 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 all the new terms. That's where I started to learn. And that's when Bologna Bones share, and a few of us, we kind of share on the Twitter to encourage people to come and try. Then that's when I also told Bologna Bones, I suggested publicly on the Twitter, I said, why not you start to teach LP? that's the first time that I planted this LP teaching concept to Bologna Bones before he started the Discord, which is Jumbo, you mentioned about the THORChain community. But in the initial day, it was called as a liquidity LP University. Yeah.
Okay.
Then Sam already also jumped into when it got started, Sam as being a moderator, right? Fast forward, right? In March 2021, just, I don't know, like magic. Everybody say, hey, congratulations, Butterfly, you become a mod. I was like, since when? And they say, I'm not sure, I see a tag on your Telegram. I was like, really? And then that's when I found out that the project manager called Kai, I'm not sure you all remember him or even know him, he quietly put the Miss Mod tag on me. So that's how I became a moderator and helping Jardine along the way. And then Sam, kind enough, because I'm the only one in the Asia Pacific time zone, and sometimes I will still have a full-time job. So sometimes I couldn't answer the question during the Asian time. I remember that the time I saw Sam Yap, this name. First thing first, I asked, hey, are you from this country, that country? Right away, get it right? Because of the name. Same. I know that is the instinct about the Yap. I know that it's the same kind of people like me in these two countries. So he didn't want to dox himself, but I dox him, right? And then because of sometimes I wasn't around, and he volunteered himself to help up on the Asian timing. That's when he started to be the moderator. And then there's also like the rest is really about our learning journey. And then I think when we changed from the single chain to multi-chain, if my memory serves me right, MCCN, this term, my God, April 2021, on the 15th, the first day MCCN got launched, and my first encounter of Discord, it was THORSwap Discord. I was the first moderator on THORSwap Discord as well.
What is MCCN? Sorry.
Multi-chain chaos. Sorry, don't
Okay.
Multi-chain chaos net. Yeah.
Oh, the chaos net. Right. I heard about that. Okay.
Yeah, it started with a single chain chaos net, SCCN, which is on the BP2. And on the April 15, 2021, it became MCCN. And yeah, chaos net even before mainnet. That's right. Right.
That was a JP's term though, right? Chaos. He liked to use chaos, I remember a lot.
Oh, yes. Oh, back then, JP all the way Lina from Telegram.
Right.
Telegram time since then. We all like, oh, Lina is the smart lady, is a technical smart lady that really, we learned a lot, right, Sam, on the Telegram. So because back then, Kai and Lina jump in and out just to explain about the technical. Whenever they type the whole long message, explain about how THORChain work, all the technical thing, we are like reading like, to me, I really like a foreign language to me. Just doing my best to try to understand it. Yeah, back then. It was chaos net, and later on mainnet.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is how from the initial Telegram only, after the chaos net, start to have the THORSwap Discord and THORChain, the LP University. There's a very first Discord being started. Then only afterwards, the developer, THORChain developer, initially on the Telegram as well. Then only afterwards, they changed and migrated to be on the Discord sometimes in May 2021. Okay, I just try to really test my own memories. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Yeah.
I just remember getting into the THORChain Telegram and DMing Sam Yap. I was like, dude, what the hell is going on in here? I don't understand anything. What is this chaos thing? And what's JP doing right now? I don't understand. And Sam, I was like, dude, don't worry, it's fine. It's like we're used to it and everything. I was like, okay, this guy is OG, man. He knows. He's been around a lot. So I was like, okay, cool.
Oh my God, it has been a long time. If you notice, all the years that I just quoted, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Half a decade. Time flies.
Sam?
Yeah, it's been a
Anything
been a
to
long time.
add, Sam?
No, yeah, I think Jane did a good summary, right? I think it was always in parallel. The deaths have their own Discords or Telegram, then they shifted to Discord. The community had one. Yeah, it just evolved, man. Like even LPU, like what Jane said, right? It's community led. It's community initiated. And I would say like even Telegram now, Denny is doing all the hard lifting, moderating that, keeping everybody cool, right? Relax. It's community, right? Sure, the devs do a lot of work. I mean, none of us. I'm not sure about Little Bunny, and maybe you do some dev work, right? Some coding, but the rest of us are probably not coders and not dev. But I think there is a strength to having this community arm of it, right? It's not just devs trying to do everything and trying to run the community. Community themselves are invested and are trying to help, right? So I don't code, right? But I like to dig into impermanent laws, maths, and how do you calculate that and things like that. And then one thing just led to another, and still very invested or still very passionate and curious about all the maths. But now that you go into Cosmos or smart contracts, maybe that's a bit deeper than what I understand right now.
So
I'll be around.
How many communities do you moderate? I kind of lost track. I feel like I see you in every channel, everywhere I go. Like, okay.
He is everywhere.
No. There was a point in time where I was also helping out in THORChain.
Okay.
Mostly just to answer questions, right? Not really like developing or whatnot, just answer questions. THORChain, THORWallet. But right now, I've sort of stepped down from those. Right now is basically just THORChain.
Okay.
Yeah, but THORChain is both the Death Discord and the community Telegram.
But I can say that anything that about THORChain, about Waldisic, if you don't know who to go to, Sam Yap is the only one.
Yeah,
Never go
Yap
wrong.
Master Yap. That's why I call him that. I mean, because he
Never
always
go
took the
wrong with
time.
Sam Yap.
He
Yeah.
took the time to understand how things work at a very deep level. He's taught me a lot of things, right? He trained me how to be a moderator back in the day. And he's always just been if a new thing comes out, he's on it. He's got to understand. And so this Cosm Wasm thing, he's going to want to understand that. He's just insatiable curiosity, this guy. Can't stop
So
him.
you guys have your kind of a master-disciple relationship, right?
Nah, but we're together, man. But I mean, I just lost when we were doing THORChain, everything was almost human readable, right? You look at the memo, you look at the transaction memo, it was easy to pass, right? You look at it, you know what you wanted to do, but now you look at Cosmosm, and I don't know how to interpret. Like you put a transaction ID, a Cosmosm transaction ID into THORChain.net, and there's so many things that just shows up, and you take a while.
Hey,
to understand.
Sam, you're just too humble to me, right? The THORChain memo, not that I never pay attention and try to understand it. I feel very scared. I feel so
come on.
scared that what if I put wrong one character, then my money will be gone. Damn, I didn't dare to touch a memo. So, Sam, you're just too humble because you have the confidence that, hey, I observe clear enough, I know how it works, and you get your confidence. And I couldn't get the confidence at all, even with that simple memo.
Try with small amounts, man. Try with small amounts, right? That's what we always say. But to be honest, the moment the first time you send your own manual memo instead of using a UI, I don't know, it feels amazing, right? I'm still not a dev, I'm still not a coder, but one step closer to really interacting directly on the blockchain. It just feels good, yeah.
I think the first user interface that introduced this memo thing is the Asgard Dex, if I'm not mistaken. And I was so new to blockchain and crypto back then that, at one point on Telegram, I even asked, why you all make things so complicated? Asgard Dex and a BEP swap and later on Tor swap. And wow, all this. I'm so confused. But later on, as I get on board as a THORChain moderator along the way, then only I get to know, THORChain is the backbone of the protocol. All these are the user interface. Yeah, and the belief is for our decentralized exchange, the more user interface they are, the better for the whole community, the whole ecosystem. So I think these are all the things that the simple and basic concept and knowledge about what is decentralized finance, decentralized exchange about. I think, can I still say that we are still early after 5
No,
years?
you can't. It's not allowed.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I think this is still something that is still lack of awareness at this moment still.
Jane, how long did it take you to understand that THORChain is the backbone? The infra. Yeah.
Damn, good question. I think I first understand how THORChain work, how liquidity pool work. It took me about at least 4 to 5 months. That is after I bet in my money into the LP and seeing how it rose, what is the mechanism behind, what is impermanent loss, the kind of things. And then there was like 4 to 5 months to understand what THORChain about, to understand the backbone and the user interface that is really started to get the glimpse of the concept. Start from April 2021 when THORSwap, the THORSwap admin back then, hey Jane, let's be help me on the Discord, support the user. I created the BEP swap, now become the multi-chain. We call it THORSwap. That's where I start to understand, oh, actually this is a user interface. Because back then, the THORSwap user interface, the first version of it is already so clear to me. It's a user-friendly way of letting people tapping to use the protocol behind. So how long do I really start to really understand that? I think probably it took me, after I start moderating on the helping on THORSwap, right, it took me about 2 to 3 months to really start to see the differentiation of like AscaDex. Yeah, I think back then it's really just AscaDex that and the THORSwap that the first two that being available. But AscaDex is still kind of like okay, to me anything involved memo technical. Although to Samuel it's not technical, but to me it's technical, right? So THORSwap is the first user interface that not for the non-technical back then. So it probably took about a month or two for me to really start to clearly differentiate that from a layman perspective, to learn all the way from zero to be the moderator to support the community. Yeah.
And let me just try to correct a little bit, right? So AscaDex, you don't need memo to use AscaDex, right? So a shout out to Grassroots Crypto, Chris. You can use memo with AscaDex, but it is not necessary. AscaDex is just another UI. Go try it out. It's unique instead is that it's a standalone app on your laptop, right? You can download the software and instead of going to a web-based UI, it's really a webtop app, right? So yeah. But anyway, we were talking history right now, the history of THORChain, but I wanted to just help chill Rujira back to, what Little Bunny was saying. I've been looking at the lending APR for the money market. USDC been doing well, right? Like we got to show this, right?
Yeah.
Don't dump your USDC, gain 10% of PR right now, right? Right.
I think it's even
right?
more.
Don't do
It's 17% right now, I think.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Part of the lesson is whenever you talk about APR, how many percent, where's the yield come from?
Yep.
Educate me. Where's the yield come from?
Yes.
I'll let
Okay.
Jump on and Little Buddy take this.
So it's a money market design where you have lenders, you have borrowers, and you have the liquidators, right? So you need people to lend out their assets in these lending vaults, and then they become available for others to borrow from. Those who want to borrow, for example, USDC, they can deposit some collateral, something like BTC, ETH, and for example, they have $100 in value of BTC deposited, and we have a so-called collateral ratio, which is 70% of the maximum amount of the collateral. This is like a safety feature as well. depending on the asset risk class. But for most asset, I believe all of them, it's 70% now. So if you deposit BTC with a value of $100, you can borrow up to 70 USDC against that. If you do it like this, you have a loan that's open, but if the price of BTC goes up, then you're all safe, your risk will lower, of course. But if the price of BTC is going lower, then you will start having an increased risk. Your LTV is going up, right? And that could lead to potential liquidation. And what Rujira is doing with its liquidation engine is that there will be a partial liquidation of your loan back to a safe threshold. So from the 70 USDC, from the collateral that you deposited, a part of this is gonna get sold in the public in Rujira trade. So anyone can bid on this, and that's what keeps this system healthy.
Maybe I'll try to add on, right? This is just a basic P2P borrow lending system, something like Ava. Right?
Exactly.
If I have spare assets, I have a spare USDC, I park it in, then people who borrow USDC pays an interest to borrow it, and some of the interest are paid as to the lenders. So if you know Arvin, you know this, right? P2P, right? So
the difference is that we have native BTC now, which I don't think Avid has. So that's a quite interesting edge that we have right now is Rujira on THORChain. But yeah, Little Bunny, go ahead. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, what you say is correct. We have the BTC, we have the assets living on THORChain, of course. And I think something also that Rujira wants to focus on is making the user interface easy to understand for its users. So for example, and this is not to throw mud on Avi because there are also like other money markets, but the thing is when you go to Ethereum blockchain and you use different platforms, then if you choose that you want to deposit Ethereum, you get 100 different flavors of ETH. Or if you want to borrow USDC, you get 1,000 flavors of USDC and USDT combined. And to be honest, I just get lost. I don't like that kind of user experience. So I'm very happy that on Rujira, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. Of course, there's BTC and there's also WBTC. It is available, but actually we try to mainly focus on one certain asset. So it's basically BTC, which is the default, and also USDC, the Ethereum flavor, because that's the biggest one that lives on THORChain. That's also the default. If you do want to trade or do something with USDC.base, USDC.TRX or Tron, you can still do that. But by default, we try to onboard you to the main flavor of the asset to try to keep it simple for everyone.
Right. The native is always the favorable, right? Because I think from the day one that I learned about THORChain, we all advocate on the native. Don't put your asset to the wrap. Then there's a risk, right? And the best is hold the actual BTC, actual Ethereum, which is a native. And that is really from the day one of the selling point about the THORChain is that we are the first decentralized exchange that allow people to swap the native Bitcoin to native Ethereum. Yeah, I think native is still in this space. We should still advocate people to always go as a preference. That's true.
Yeah. And what Sam just said about, is it similar to Avi? So also on Avi, there is a liquidation system. So at some point, of course, when people have a loan on their platform, also those liquidations need to happen to try and keep the system healthy. But the difference is, because I did a bit of research in this, when liquidations happen over there, it basically up to the first person who is able to buy those liquidations, or the person who has the capability, with the fastest, who has the biggest pockets, who have the code to buy up those liquidations. And that's not very fair. That's not like access for everyone, like an equal opportunity and fair access for everyone, right? So this is the cool thing that we have on Rujira with this whole money market. This whole money market is so connected with RujiTrade. There are unsafe loan positions. There's a liquidator that can get like 0.5% fee once it triggers the liquidation, and it gets sold in the order book. And any liquidity in the RujiTrade order book is able to buy up that liquidation. So if there is a big liquidations that would happen, then anyone, if you have a tracking order, a limit order, whatever, you can participate and get that asset being sold in the order book at a discount. So I think this is incredibly cool what's being built. And this is what started 5 years ago with Kujira, Orca, on Terra, and that philosophy is still here. And I think this is why many people of the current Rujira community, why they are still around as well. They do believe in this fair world, this fair opportunity for everyone, this decentralized ethos. We have the freedom to do what we want, and we have the same opportunities like, the big investors. So that's that's what sets us apart. Yeah.
No, it's that ethos, right? That's the spirit that we're here. We're here to build an economic infrastructure that is fair, right? I mean, that's the whole reason why I was driven to THORChain, because I thought THORChain was the first step. You know, I had no idea how we were going to do loans and stuff. And obviously we're pretty terrible at it, right? With the THORFi and stuff. But this is the beautiful thing with Rujira. You guys know what you're doing. You're building something that makes complete sense of the app layer. And I tell people all the time, I said, look, the app layer, the way it's being implemented on THORChain, this stack that we have where you have a base layer and app layer, this has never been done before. We're going to run into unknown unknowns. We're going to have bugs. We're going to have issues, but it's going to get hammered out. We're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out. We just got to keep going. So I just think this is totally incredible what we're doing here. I really do. I am so unbelievably bullish on what you guys do. And, you know, Little Bunny, I see you all the time, man. You're testing things like a rock star, dude. You're testing. Jambone, you're doing it too, man. So thank you. Really awesome. It was like what Jane said earlier about that meeting back in 2024, whenever it was, October or something, right? Where you were at dinner with some people and they were talking about, you know, this potential merger between Kujira and THORChain. Like, what an amazing thing you got to witness, Jane. I mean, that was literally like, that might really turn out to be a profoundly historical moment, right? That's led to like one of the most powerful economic engines in the world, where you can essentially do anything in TradFi that you can do on chain, right? Go ahead.
I just want to add is that for the broader community benefit, right? To translate all that what Little Bunny and Danny mentioned about the lending and all those, right? Which is exactly the philosophy of Etho, that whatever they're being built ever since 5 years ago during the Terra Luna and Kujira time. For the broader community, I want to say is that the product today that already bought as an app layer for THORChain is a product that we learned all the lesson in the past, right? All the lesson that, you know, all the flaws, all the mistake that we made in the past, right?
Yeah.
We learn from there, we improve it, we make it like as much as I would say as best as we can at the present moment. Right? But we can't, although we cannot guarantee there is no bugs, there is no mistake still, but that is the best at the present moment that we can bring to the community, right? I think this is something that is really worth everybody to really look into it, because I'm not that really long in crypto. I know I started 6 years ago, but I do say that 6 years in crypto, I have seen enough to say that for a community, for a protocol that can really stand still, working, have a passionate community behind it after 6 years, this is probably just a very rare community we have here in the crypto space. There are so many that already no longer exist. Some even influencer back then, right, on the YouTube, how many of them are still active? How many of those communities still active? They're still talking about the passion about the protocol, and then we are still here.
I mean,
I think
if you're
this is
still
something
passionate
sounded
about
great.
a protocol that exploded twice, there are
Yeah.
good chances that you will stick around because you're like, I mean, what else can destroy us? It's
You
like,
mentioned
Yeah.
about exploit, right?
yeah.
Our MCCN, I'm not sure is still ChaosNet or mainnet for THORChain back in 2021. Sam Yap
It was
is correct me if
ChaosNet.
I'm wrong. I think 3 times within the period of, I think, June 2021 and July 2 times. And then there was another time around November, I guess. We got 3 explodes back in 2021 for THORChain. Damn. Now you mentioned about that. Oh my God. Can you imagine during that time that what is the how chaotic the community, right, that we were gone through? And then after that, the Terra Luna incident back in May 2022. Yeah, damn. You
Yeah, I
all
think
have your fair share of the chaos in your community in the Terra Luna.
yeah.
We on Dev Discord, I still remember. I don't know if JP will ever listen here, right? One of the morning, I really told Lena, it's time to release it, to let people withdraw their money, to really cash out as much as they can. Why are we still locking their liquidity? I remember that because I feel that, wow, at the time that I kind of rude a bit impolite. After I shouting all this, and later I said, Alina, thank you so much for listening to me. I'm so sorry being so rude. Yeah, those were the time. And it was like, damn, 4 years ago. Time flies.
Yeah,
I think
5
on a
actually.
on a personal note, I hope we can leave the chaos behind and we can go into more like stable waters now, both with THORChain but also with Rujira. I think
That's right.
yeah, I think looking at the present and to the future, THORChain has this awesome infra that and it's like I hope also after what happened, the difficulties in the last month, there's a lot of like efforts to make things more secure and implement AI to help monitoring and auditing everything like constantly on the fly, which is a very good thing probably. And so hopefully THORChain can keep its focus on doing the cross-chain swaps and staying stable and secure, and we can keep building with Rujira all these awesome primitives, these DeFi products on top, which helps both of us to attract new users, new liquidity, or have all these cool new features that people can use in a decentralized, permissionless fashion. I hope that's the direction where we're going. And there is so much cool stuff being built, and there's already some cool stuff out there. But we're looking at the next. Maybe today that we're recording with next version 3.20 coming out. And then we have Rune coming again. We have the churn coming again. We have the Rune rewards coming again, B-Rune rewards, and all of this is starting to flow again.
Well, what is, okay, so you did mention, like, you did mention those things. What are you looking forward to in the medium term, like on the app layer? What's got you guys really excited? I don't know if Jambone or Little Bunny want to take that, but can you give a highlight? Because a lot of people are watching us, like we know the app layer, but it's, you guys are deep in the weeds, right? So break it down for us.
Jambone, you want to go first?
If it's okay. Yeah, sure, thanks. I mean, personally, what I'm looking forward to is just gaining more liquidity through POL, which is actually just started happening yesterday. I think today or yesterday. Pragmatic Monkey actually sent the links, so POL is now active and accumulating capital, which is with the help of CCL that actually you already know about, Danny, because PM did went on Source Day last time to talk about this, will actually allow the protocol to launch more apps like Perps, which everyone is looking forward to because that's the kind of trading that brings in volume and fees. And I mean, I'm looking forward for Perps, obviously, but before that, I'm looking forward to just see that steady capital accumulating within the Rujira and THORChain, because there's a third of that POL that goes to THORChain as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of got a bit lost on the allocation of POL, but yeah, I mean, I just want to see those numbers grow, and we'll just take it from here. DCL, perps, stablecoin, everything that comes along with it, basically. Yeah.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. This is really cool. Yeah, I mean, to Little Bunny's point, oh my gosh, you guys, 2021, ChaosNet, THORChain, we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, we had this idea. We had no idea what was going to happen. Real layer one swaps, that was the first time ever. That was the first time ever. And actually, it was a pretty solid code base. The one thing that kicked us in the nuts was that ETH router. That damn ETH router got us, man. Someone was able to like spin up, I forget exactly the attack vector, maybe Sam can tell me, but they tricked the network into sending out funds that we did not receive. So there's so many things that we have learned. Like THORChain today is almost nothing like what it was back in 2021. I mean, back then we had these things called Yggdrasil vaults, which each individual node had their own little vault. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was nuts. But man, I feel like we got it. And to your point, guys, about the network, becoming more stable and healthy, I really think the most important thing for like me personally, like we were talking about Rune Bond, we gotta get more nodes. We just got to increase the decentralization. I have changed my mind a little bit. I'm not sure, because I've been talking about going to 200, 240 nodes, but man, decentralized governance is such a pain in the ass. I don't know. We might get so bogged down. It might be so hard. So maybe 120 is good. Maybe 150. I go back on this a little bit, but we're trying to get ADR 29 pass. It's like legit a win-win. And it hasn't passed in like forever. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a disaster. You know what I mean? But it's okay. It'll get passed. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I think you cannot expect people to do stuff because they believe in the ethos or whatever. You need to have like a system that either punishes or rewards certain behavior. So basically, in this case, for ADR 29, there should be at some point a little either punishment or a slash for nodes that actually don't vote. And I think on Runebound you guys did that. I don't really know Runebound, but I saw that you have this little metrics that says if a bond has been voting on proposals or not to, right?
Yes, that's correct. Go ahead, Jane.
Hey, Jambon, I feel offended when you say you don't know runebond.com.
I cannot be everywhere, Jane. Come on.
That shows that you are not a bond provider. Come on.
I bought beer
directly.
Sorry. Ethereum is out. I don't need to bond anymore. I'm sorry, guys.
But back to the point about getting nodes to vote us. Ted Barrowford did raise a PIA, right? I think his idea is to discipline by churning out. If you don't vote, you get, there's a higher chance you'll get churn out. So let's hope that plays out. I agree. I totally agree. Right.
That's the punishment method, right? Which works because you don't want to get slashed, you don't want to miss on the rewards, and if that's not enough, then you up it up a notch, right? You just I don't know, whatever, but you gotta get those nodes voting because otherwise we're just stuck in limbo forever. It's like.
Yeah, and the problem is we don't really have an abstain option right now. Like, it's okay if you're not sure. Just signal something. Just signal. Yeah. And maybe you never figure it out, but at least we know what's going on. Because right now, like, there's votes for, and then there's nothing. So it's like, are they concerned about something? Do they have clarifying questions? So, like, to your point, Jambone, 100% correct. If we churn out these nodes that are just not participating, it's going to give them performance anxiety, right? You got to at least do something. You know what I mean? Or, because we gotta at least have some resolution, whether it's in the affirmative or the negative, So
but I think
that'd be a really good change.
Yeah, sorry. And back on Kujira, there was also this like voting fatigue. I remember like people were like, oh God, another proposal. We need to vote again. Like, and this was real. Like at some points it was the delegators. I forgot what the name was back then on Kujira, but they're like, yeah, I don't want to, keep on voting. So basically you had to, for some people, just break it down to like easy stuff, and so they can make a decision quickly because they don't want to go through like sheer amount of texts to make a decision afterwards, right? And there are quite a few proposals recently, which also I'm gonna bounce on this thing, which is like what was it again? Shit, I forgot my train of thought. Sorry. Talking about too many things at the same time, and I forgot. Sorry, I'll pick it up.
Voting, fatigue, governance. You're talking along those lines.
Yeah, but it just escaped my mind. Yeah, sorry. Just
It's all right. No, you come back, just interrupt. But yeah, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct, Jambone. And the fatigue is a real thing. But the goal is to make THORChain node so profitable that like it's a full-time job. Like it's the only thing a node would be thrilled to just be a node operator, right? Where they're making so much money. And if it's a full-time job, then it's not a big deal. The government is okay, right? And the one thing that I see, the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that the governance of THORChain has really grown in sophistication. I'm in so many different node operator groups on Telegram, and every time there is like some big thing that happens, like ADR 31, there is constant debate in all these different groups, questions, clarifications, this, that, which is good, right? Like people are asking like, how does this work? What's the revenue share? Does that make sense? And it's like, it's awesome. It's really cool. It's really turned into something quite profound. Right. And I love that. Sam, did you want to add anything at all? I want to make sure you get some time speaking, but yeah.
That talking about there's no option to abstain, right? There, two things. One, notes can always make relay can speak up, right? And even if they don't do that, they can vote. Let's say ADR, whatever, vote 1 to agree, vote 0 to disagree. They can just vote 2. There's nothing stopping the code from voting something, right? At least you tell the community, or you tell everyone that I'm abstaining. I'm voting something else instead of total silence, and you don't know whether they're alive, right? To be honest, if they're not voting. So the abstain option is always there, even if it is not clearly stated in the air there. Just do something, talk something, right? Then we know.
Maybe we should code an app that gets that puts notifications onto like nodes. They get like a reminder every day, like an automatic thing. Well, they remember they have to vote. People go on with their lives and they forgot about like new ADRs probably.
I've asked Chad to build something like that if it's possible, and he says not really, because each node has their own custom bare metal setup, and he's like, I could make this, but would they adopt it? Would they use it? Would it be something like this? So I think the solution, like you said, Jambone, is just having a punishment, performance anxiety, and that just fixes it, I think. I think we just have that missing. It's like these little tweaks of THORChain we've been making over the years. Like, okay, the game theory is pretty good, but we can optimize it here and there. So, Jane, were you going to say something? I thought I saw your mouth open.
Yeah, because when Sam mentioned that not even sure that whether or not they are still alive, right? I think it's a matter of like really. Because we are at decentralized exchange, decentralized protocol. I guess, although Sam mentioned like in a joking way, but I believe that is really a really realistic problem to think about, right? So I guess instead of really having some node operator hanging around not responding, I think really need to just get them tuned out, get them out of the way. Who knows that really something happened with their where they store running their server, maybe fire or whatever, right? That nobody can really get to that premises in a short period of time. Who knows, right? I think set up some certain things like that to actually not to let them get into our way is very important. And also, I think, again, Jambon, check on our runebond.com. We do really get a lot of the, statistic about a node as well. The performance, if they're listed on us, you can even see the performance as well. That's where you can check on us to bond your rune to secure the network, help to secure the network. Speaking about the rune bond also, when we first started, the only way to participate to bond our rune, there was no way. It was just only the liquidity, provide the liquidity into the LP, right? And I think, I'm not sure, since when did we have this bond provider feature? I think sometimes 2024 or 23.
I think that's right. Sam, do you remember? I don't remember. Because I was always an
don't
LP
remember.
before.
I don't remember, but you guys are right at the very beginning. If you run a note, you contribute 100% of the bond to a note. There's no OOT bonding. There's no delegated bonding, right? So
Right.
then that came after.
And that was
It's
a big
just-
decision. Go ahead, Sam.
It was, I mean, it just, it just so much evolution, right? These things are built over time, tweak over time. Are we perfect? We are not. But just to see the evolution of the design, right? When the need was there, we adjusted. So interesting.
That
Yeah.
was a big. Oh, go ahead, Jibon.
Well, sorry, I just want to say, actually, like from what I know from Rune Bond, I think it's a great idea, but this should have come like a long time ago, right? Because this is quite new. Like I feel like facilitating new users to be able to bond their runes without the hassle of like not knowing what to do is it should be a given, right? I myself not using it because I don't want to. I actually did bond my rune before, but I was stuck in for a while where I actually wanted to get some rune out, so I didn't like the fact that I had to wait so long. And then B rune came along, and now I'm waiting for B rune landing.
Jambo, a little fork there.
Kidding. Of course not.
That was a big decision, you guys. Like, to give you a little context here, like bonders, BPs, they weren't a thing, right? And so this was introduced, right? And this was a huge debate because there was a lot of fear in THORChain that with bond providers, this could empower a malicious node to get some bond providers churn in when they otherwise didn't have the capital to do it to attack the network, right? And so like it's been a very gradual evolution of THORChain where our thinking has really changed over the years. Right now, the BP system, it works really great. B-Rune, I understand people don't like that lockup period. The thing that scares me about B-Rune is that you just don't really participate in governance in terms of like exercising your opinion to a specific node operator, right? So that for me that makes me nervous, right? Because I don't want, but then again, B-Rune, we also have a whitelist. So we're trying to keep malicious node operators gated so they can't get empowered to take the network. So that's good, right?
Yeah,
but I love. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The way I see it, like B-Rune is kind of amplifying a node, which is like basically instead of having like, for example, 900,000 rune in one node, you have a million, and 100,000 of those new runes are B-Rune, which are not actively participating in governance, but it's actually giving more weight to that node which already is voting one way or another way. So it's actually just amplifying what's already there. So as long as it's like dispatched evenly, or at least among many nodes, I don't think it affects governments. But if it was just dispatched on maybe 5 nodes, it will be an issue for sure. But the fact that more and more nodes are whitelisted for B-Rune, I think makes it pretty safe, to be honest. I mean, from that perspective, at least.
10% cap, I have no problem with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I don't want to scale anymore. But
Yeah.
it's fine. That's fine the way it is currently. Yeah, I don't have any issues with that at all. But the thing you have to remember, though, is that when you are equally disseminated between nodes, right? You can't exercise your specific opinion. Like let's say THORChain was proposing ADR that did something really bad to the app layer. Just hypothetically, I don't think that's going to happen, but just to give you an example, right? As a B-Rune holder, you couldn't tell a specific node, hey, I hate this. Please, I want to take my rune weight and I want to say vote negative, vote number 2, or abstain, or what, you see what I'm saying? So that is a drawback. Right.
That's the payoff of not locking up your coins, basically, right?
Right, exactly. So you do surrender that a little bit. Little Bunny, if you have opinion on this, you haven't spoken in a while. I want to make sure I give you the floor a little bit.
Well, not much of an opinion on this, but I think what is really cool regarding B-Rune, and that happened this week, was that actually for the last couple of months, we had like 500,000 of B-Rune available at the 1:1 ratio. And actually yesterday or 2 days ago, someone just bought up all of this. So you were saying like we have this 10% cap for B-Rune, and yeah, we probably need to raise the B-Rune cap very soon again as well to supply enough B-Rune.
Wouldn't that be an issue though, to keep rising the cap? Then we enter territory where it can be a little bit muddy, right? Regarding
we are under this 10% cap now. so it can
Are we
still
under 10%?
be
Okay, I
increased.
thought
Yeah,
you
we are
meant
under this.
I thought you meant raising the 10% cap. That's
No,
what
no,
I
no,
meant.
sorry. Not raising the
Oh,
10% cap, not at all. But I think there's about 5 million or 6 million, there's a cap of this right now. And actually, yeah, just to highlight something cool is that 2 days ago, someone just converted and
Is
staked
that
it.
you?
He wishes for sure.
Maybe it was Jambon.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah, this is interesting because THORChain hasn't been churning for the last 2-3 months, right? So there hasn't been rewards being distributed, which also means that this B-Rune contract hasn't been collecting these rewards from Rune bonding. So currently people mention like, oh, why is my B-Rune staking at 0.1%?
Yeah.
But yeah, we are waiting for the THORChain nodes to churn again, and hopefully that will be today. And then maybe we need a second churn from what I read. But after that, the rewards can be collected by the B-Rune contract, and those rewards are gonna be like distributed over the next 7 days after. So yeah,
gonna be
I think
insane,
it's
yeah.
anticipation on this. Yes.
It's gonna be like 150% APR for like 2 weeks or something, basically, because
Yeah.
everything is gonna come out at once. I mean, that's what Hans
Who
said,
knows
right?
what's gonna happen? Yeah. Who knows what's gonna happen? And I'm quite looking forward to this. I do think this APR will look unrealistically high to people outside of our community, but it is the actual real yield collected. And so that's the cool thing. And what else? Okay, I lost my train of thought.
Welcome to the Clubhouse.
Are we all boomers in here?
But-
We can't keep our train of thought.
No. So what I want to say. Yeah. So like 2-3 months ago, like, I'm sure you all remember like the momentum we started having, right? We introduced B-Rune staking. We were going like 500,000, 1 million B-Rune, like 2 million, 3 million. And yeah, within a month, 1.5 months, we were at 5 or 6 million of B-Rune staking already. And it felt we had a really good sentiment going on. We had some nice momentum. So hopefully after THORChain starts churning again, we can like start getting this sentiment back again and start attracting users, new eyes on THORChain, on Rujira, and have new people coming in again.
Yeah, the churn has really put a hamper on things. Go ahead, Jibon.
I also want to touch on that. Is like what we need to remember is actually most of the people. I think it was like there were numbers backing up, but I'm not entirely sure. Like most of the people buying B runes were actually people who had their runes on sexualized exchanges, not people who are already bonded. So actually, this is just a pure win because basically those people are taking their coins out of centralized exchanges and putting up on the network. So even though it's not bonded and participating in governance, at least it's getting back into our system, which is definitely something we want to see.
That is a win, 100%.
Yeah, and giving a fair, also here, like it's like equal access and a fair opportunity for everyone as well. Because otherwise, if you have only 100, 200 or 500 rune, it's very difficult to start bonding and to start earning from this. So also especially for these small fishes, it's a nice opportunity to quickly stake, quickly unstake whenever you want. And if there's no capacity to exit B-Rune back to Rune, okay, you just sell in the Rujitrade order book. And there's even like a small market making opportunity when there's volatility between a lot of people entering or a lot of people exiting, depending on the available liquidity. So this is like a cool extra mechanic as well.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I love the fact that we're like it's siphoning off Rune off centralized exchanges. That's what so that is like probably one of my favorite thing about B-Rune that helped do is it did take a significant amount of it off centralized exchanges, and to me that's so important, right? I want to get as much of that off there. Get Binance, just get all that Rune off there. I don't want it on there at all, you know.
But we need to give people, so this is, I think, one of the most important things. We need to make all these things as simple as possible for people to understand. So we have to acknowledge as well that we are in we're doing DeFi stuff, we're doing crypto stuff, and we are in Web3. And there's a big group of people who got burned many times over the last 5 to 10 years. So right now, this whole sector is very, I feel like it's very difficult to grow unless you have like huge pockets, you get a huge audience, and like people, they start pumping in. But even then, quickly after, users might leave because the APR is not that high, the token is not going up anymore. So we're really trying to make a system that is, like as I said, like equal access, fair opportunities for everyone, making it as easy as possible to onboard and having actual real yield. So that's what we're doing with the Rujira money market, right? We have these lenders, borrowers, and liquidators. So there are different earn opportunities for whatever risk profile you have, whatever you're looking for. If you want, you can bid on the liquidations, or you can lend out your assets and get a couple of % or maybe more, depending on dynamic ratio, right? So this is one thing. And also another thing, because how Trade and the virtualization strategy is now tapping into THORChain and its base layers. So THORChain is awesome because it's doing this huge cross-chain swaps, right, from L1 to L1. But sometimes the base layer pools are not always that efficient because they basically go from putting money at liquidity in 0 all the way to infinite. And on Rujira, we now have automated trading, custom concentrated liquidity strategies. So people can say, okay, the Bitcoin price is around 65K, and I want to do a tight, I want to deploy my liquidity to start earning. So maybe I do a tight range, 60 to 70K, and I just start earning and providing liquidity in that area. So if anyone is doing these swaps on THORChain, the virtualization strategy, when it spots these imbalances, it's gonna help and like move liquidity over between them. And right now, this is a little bit from Rujira's side going to THORChain side, but Alex from Maya, they're working on also having THORChain and the base layer pools like looking more into the liquidity on Trade, which would probably help to like lower the pips as well and have better quotes, tighter spreads for like the whole ecosystem. And the reason why I bring this up as well about automated trading and the CCL, because there are a lot of people trying this out now, and depending on your spread and your parameters, people are earning maybe 15%, 20%, or some strategies are even doing like 30, 40, 50% by deploying Ethereum, ETH, and BTC, or maybe BTC, USDC. Rune USDC is, I believe, also a very good pair, but especially ETH BTC is the important one. These are the most swaps. I think in 1 month or in 1 quarter, there is more than 1 billion in cross-chain volume on THORChain. So that's a really good pair if we can capture that and provide all those users that are like cross-chain swapping through THORChain infra, THORChain front ends. We can help provide liquidity, and we just earn from arbitrage and market volatility there.
Do you guys see that? This says 495% APR on the
That's
TCY
crazy.
Rune. That's crazy.
So right now, it's also good to know that there's like a migration of the infra, like an upgrade migration. So maybe some of the APRs are, well, maybe they are correct, but some of the statistics, they need to be like a little bit like updated after this migration finishes. But for sure, it already gives a very good like indication of like strategies and things that work and things that not work.
Yeah, and the thing people need to understand is like this thing is being built where it's completely neutral, permissionless, and fair. Something real quick, just in case lending talk here. If people decide to like lend their exogenous assets, right? It gets custodied by THORChain. It gets a derivative goes on the app layer as a secured asset. What is the withdrawal period? How does that work, Little Bunny? Like, is there like a lockup period? Could you break that down?
There is no lockup period. The only thing is that it depends on the utilization of that lending vault. So for example, if, we have Atom, right? We see that it's the highest one in the list and the utilization is 79%. So around this 80%, this lending APR is gonna go higher because there's so many like people borrowing. So they need to start paying a little bit more to borrow that asset. If something happens or if there is someone who wants to like borrow all that Atom, then the Atom utilization will be 100%. But this also means that this person needs to pay a lot of interest to the lenders for borrowing that full lending vault, that full available amount of Atom. So because the borrow APR, that interest rate will go up, which means the lending APR, those who are lending out their Atom, it will also go up for people that are like earning from lending out their Atom. So naturally, it will start finding a new balance again. So people will see, okay, I can lend my Atom and I can get 100% APR. Okay, there will be some people that are going to deposit some more Atom. And if not, then on the other hand, there might be depositors who are like, okay, I'm not going to pay 100% APR interest rate on my Atom here. So they're going to withdraw. So once the utilization is under 100%, you are able to withdraw. Just market mechanics.
Simple design, easy to understand, and I think there is important elegance to something that's simple to understand. Because if you cannot model it in your brain, you can't explain it simply. There is something wrong. I've come to figure that out. Right, like Sam, I remember back when we had like savers and lending, and we would talk in DM, and I was like, I'm educating this, but I really don't know how the game theory is working here. This is just like the LPs are leveraged now. We've got savers, blah, 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 blah. Like it was so convoluted, right? And then, of course, THORChain happens, of course. But now it's much easier to understand. All that shit's gone, right? So, man, isn't that like Sam, just like educating this stuff has been such a journey. But like what you guys, like how you explain that little bunny, Jembone, like that's just elegant. Easy to understand, simple, straightforward, based on principles that are just well established. I love it, man. It's great.
Yeah. And on that note, I have to take my leave. So you guys continue. You guys, it was great. It was great. Maybe we should do it sometime again.
Sam, absolutely, buddy. I loved it, man.
Cheers,
great
guys.
job, buddy. Hey, take care, buddy.
Nice to see you, man.
Great seeing you. Have a great day.
It was great.
Bye,
It was fun.
Sam.
Great. Take care, all. Take care, all.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah,
God,
actually,
I love
talking about the lending on THORChain, I actually used it because I was like, wow, that's great. You can use your native Bitcoin. And you can lend with like 0 fees. I was like, there must be like something I'm not getting. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just good. I mean, it's THORChain behind is strong enough to withhold any issues, right? And actually, I was lending my Bitcoin for, I don't know, for a while. And I started to get scared a little bit. I don't know, like people were saying, like we were seeing the price of Rune going down, and it was tied to the lending mechanism, right? And I was like, shit. And I remember actually sending a PM to Sam. I was like, dude, how do I get out of this? Because they disabled on the UI already, it was still possible to do, but it was already hard. And actually I got out just before before they blocked the thing. And I was like, oh shit, that was insane.
Yeah, good job. Good job. That was a hard.
Yeah.
So the thing with the THORChain, for those who don't know, and this is why Rujira, I love the Rujiras here, is like the whole mission of THORChain legitimately, because we talked about ethos earlier, it's, we want to economically emancipate the world, to liberate the world, okay? And swaps, cross-chain swaps, we did it. It was successful. We figured it out. But that's not enough, right? And I say this a lot. Some people disagree with me, but I really believe if you're going to be serious about this, you have to offer every single primitive there is. And so THORChain was our attempt at essentially the app layer, and we didn't know how to do it. I had no idea, right? So we came up with this really wonky idea with Rune and, burn mint mechanism, because that's what, we have one asset, Rune, right? That's what we had to work with. This app layer conceptually was just not a thing. So, we gave it a shot, didn't work out. But you guys are here now, and you guys seem to know what you're doing, which is great. I'm really glad you're here, you guys.
Well,
But
we're happy we have Hans coding all of this, right?
yeah. Shout out to Hans. That guy's a genius. I
Yeah.
love that guy. I hope I get to meet him someday in the future. But I understand he wants to be
Yeah,
M
for
on,
sure.
which I totally respect.
When we do our $10 Ruji party in Thailand or wherever, we
$100 honey,
$100
three figgy. What are we talking about?
$100 rune, $10 Ruji. I think we can set up on this.
Honey on both.
I thought it should be the other way around.
$100 Ruji.
Well,
I mean, I'm all for it. Let's go. You know?
Yeah, the market cap is smaller, so the growth potential, I think, is
I'm not
generally
sure.
speaking more. We'll see. I don't know, but it's a revenue share.
Right.
We're both going to go up, so we'll see.
In crypto, there's no something that absolute or definite,
No.
right? Yeah, it's like always unexpected, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It's hard to.
Well-
There's really irrational. Go ahead, Jimbo.
Yeah, during the Kujira days, we had this whale who was always saying like, we have this yacht party whenever Kuji back then hits, what was it, $100 or $10? I forgot actually. So he has become a meme in the community, and we keep we keep using it somehow, that one day we can all go to the party. And of course, THORChains are invited to the party now.
Kujira all-time high, it went to quite a few dollars, right?
I think it was like $5 maybe.
Yeah. And then for Rune, all-time high is still May 2021,
16?
$20.
Oh,
$20.
20? Okay.
$20.
It was my first time I cash out. I sold my first Rune.
Oh,
You're
nice,
so
nicely
smart.
done.
The first
That-
time
that-
I bought Rune, it was $15.
Also, you are my asset liquidity.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
No, I
God.
think for this, in these 6 years, part of the learning is that I know that we all love the protocol, we love the system, the tools that we built, but in the realistic side, right, we still got to have our exit plan. You got to still to be disciplined to follow your exit plan, right?
There's no exit for Danny. He's too deep in,
Well, check it out, guys. An exit plan for me is being free. Okay, if we've got freedom, then I win. Okay, that's my end state right there.
Danny, what is freedom? What do you consider being freedom? Because this is a spectrum, right?
This is a nebulous term, right? Of course. I mean, well, first off, we're not free right now. Let's just say that right now. We are not free. You got to fix the economic system. You can't have cronyism in government. You got to have a representation that's linked to dollars, right? You got to be able to track where those dollars are going. Let me tell you the amount of corruption in government I got involved. It is hard to exaggerate. It's hard to exaggerate. And many countries, I'm sure France, I'm sure wherever you're from, Little Bunny, like that, they have their own issues, right? So we have to just fix the basics of society, right? And then we can go from there. Well, okay, we got that figured out. What means free? Does it mean gun ownership? I think so, right? A lot of people don't agree with that. But I want to keep it simple, right? If people can transact and interact with whom they want, how they see fit, they can do things with their asset. They can be their own bank. They can have money that's not in a bank that can be frozen, right? Or they, what is it called? Where the redemption, something banking. I'm totally farty. I say this all the time. Where the bank does not hold all of the money. It's I'm totally blanking. You guys will. I'll think of it later.
Bankless, right? Bankless.
Well, yeah, bankless, but reserve banking. It's sort of right, Coke. Thank you. But
Fractional reserve, maybe.
Fractional reserve. Thank you, Jimbo. Yeah, I don't know. I totally blanked on that. Right. Well, it's a joke. It's a joke. The money's not there. So it's the system's all messed up. So what freedom looks like, man, that's a beautiful question. I think we should dream big what that looks like. Right. I think this is ours for the taking, for ours to build.
It is, in fact, a very, very big dream that you just described. But I still think that at an individual level, come back to the individual level, Danny, please free yourself a little bit. Don't be too tense.
We have to. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, it's like no one's free as far as I can tell right now, right? So individual level, yes, we have to. Yeah, we
Okay,
have to
first of
obtain that.
all, get yourself to this part of the world. You will feel much
Jane,
more free.
I know you just want me to come to Malaysia. I will one day.
I believe all these gentlemen will really agree with me on this statement. Get out from your country first. That's the very first step.
It's a hard thing, guys. Do you stay and fight, or do you flee and fight in another location? This is a common thing. I've gotten really involved local stuff. I don't want to make this podcast about me. It is an interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah.
But I
think,
know Coke. Go ahead.
But I think it's more on a. I agree with Jane here, right? It's more on a personal level, and I do understand, right? It's not easy to move and go to another place, but I think it's kind of like you practice what you preach, and also the words you choose, they affect you as a human being. So depending on your look at life and depending the words you choose, like it depends your mood. It depends like how you feel and how you maybe also develop. So to give you one example, I think like words with a negative meaning, like it's good to like keep them out, to not mention them, or things that have been going not that good in the past. Like, like even if I say this, I use the word good because that's what my body will focus on instead of using a word that has the other conjugation. So
that is the power of where you are staying, right? They transform you by saying this.
I guess so, but it's also good to share this with the others. So this is sometimes I'm in Dennis DMs and I'm telling him like, hey, I would avoid using these kind of words or repeating these kind of things, because we're not want to live in the past. These things happen. Okay, leave it behind. We're focusing on the now, on the present, and we're going to keep moving from here and looking at the power of words. We're going to just keep moving from here, looking at the bright side, the good things. And that's what we're focusing on. And not wasting any energy on like the bad things, but bringing that change.
Yeah, I agree. But I will also put a little warning on being careful not to avoid also the bad stuff, because we actually grow from going face to face with the adversity. And I'm saying that because I live in a country where it's not allowed to say bad stuff, like a certain stuff. And actually, that's actually very detrimental, because people need to be face their emotions instead of hiding it all the time, which is actually very common here. But to your point, I also believe that once you've faced it, then look forward and change things, because that's the only way you will put to good use whatever you learned during that hard time, right? But it like in our communities, it's like there's so many fights every day, and a lot of stuff are like going around, and at some point, you have to say like, all right, it's the same fight we had like a week ago. Now we can start moving on and stop this nonsense, right? At the beginning, you need to like find a way to grind and maybe, find a common path. But at some point, you just need to agree to disagree, and that's fine. That's what a decentralized system is, right? No one will always agree, basically.
I think essentially what Little Bunny mentioned just now is not really about avoiding. I think it's just reframing of the words. Reframing of the words that, of course, in this world, there are a lot of ups and downs. There's not always a good, really always up only that, well, damn. It used to have this phrase called ups only, right? A podcast by someone. We wish to have the ups only, but in reality, ups and down, right? So it's really about how we receive it, how we reframe it, and essentially learn from the past, right? And always look forward to have the better one, right? To make a good progress. I think, Danny, I know that it's not easy to move to this part of the world. Come to visit, right?
Oh, yeah,
At
of
least
course.
maybe we meet at somewhere Little Bunny staying. I think that's a place that I remember where he told me that he stayed. So I think it's a good place to really get chill and retreat as well. I think why not? We really try. I still trying my best to make money, right? Because this year really challenging for me. I think let's set a target. I really hope that
it's difficult for all of us.
It's difficult. I know. The thing is,
for sure.
it's because I actually tried to come out there. It was a conference in Singapore, but
The
I've just
token,
got
right, back then.
yeah, I just got, it's hard because I have personal things going on. You know, I'm a caretaker. It's not easy, right? So it is what it
I think
is.
the
I mean,
problem
you
is
got
like
an obligation to your family. That's what it is.
if Danny comes to Asia, the
Go ahead.
problem is he will not leave. He will just stay here. So he's afraid of that, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid at all. I know, but then I can't take my guns, you guys. What am I
I
supposed
was
to
about
do
to
with
say,
that?
yeah, you
So
cannot bring your guns, man.
I have to get a yacht. Now, if I have a yacht, though, I think there's a loophole there. As an American, nationally, you can take your guns around. So I'll figure something out, you guys. We'll work it out. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Jane can get you some guns, maybe like Malaysia is like I'm sure it's easier than here for sure.
Hey,
I think she's a gangster.
hey,
She's a gangster.
hey! Why you want to dox the country that I'm in? Huh?
Alright, come on, it's
Yeah.
big.
No, hey, now I'm curious. Based on what basis you think that I can get gun here?
You're a
I'm
gangster.
curious now.
No,
Ethnicity.
I mean
Jumbo?
like what we hear all the time in China is like when you go to Southeast Asia, it's a bit more messy, right? So that's what we hear over here.
No.
I'm just
Okay, let's put this way. My country, well, I think it's just normal crime. They're going along, but it's not like where Danny's staying. They're having guns along the street. No
not
such
like
thing. No such
Myanmar
thing.
and stuff like that, right?
No. Way better, way better. Hey, Jambon. Come on.
I've never been to
Are you
Malaysia. I have no
seriously?
idea actually. I was just
Really? Okay.
Maybe this is
So,
getting too
No,
personal. Or do you want to
if
keep talking about?
let's put it this way. I'm not sure what is the impression about Singapore to you guys, but Malaysia just okay, in my opinion, just slightly below the level of Singapore. Slightly below, in my opinion. Yeah, so it's not that bad. Come on.
Well, I'm just glad that Jabone
I was
asked it,
kidding.
because now I've taken notes. I'm taking notes of things to say, and so one of the notes is in there is Jane a gun runner. I love this. I did not expect this. This is wonderful. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Jambon, 你的错，你的错。为什么这样子？
对，我错了，不好意思。
Very
My
cool.
God.
Yeah. So
Danny.
man, this is a great go. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Danny. Okay. I think this topic is over, right? Like your topic. So Danny, you just mentioned about like having like freedom, right? Freedom and financial freedom, like that. And I wanna give a little anecdote from the last 2 weeks, because I met like a local Bitcoin community, and they're really Bitcoin maximalists, like I never met before. And yeah, they were I was told, okay, be very careful when you talk about DeFi, crypto, Web3, all these kind of things, because these people that come here, that visit us, they're like really not interested like in that kind of stuff. They themselves, their family, they all got burned. So as I previously mentioned, we are in this kind of space. It's very difficult, I think, for DeFi to grow, to earn trust still. But as I was talking with this person, he also mentioned that they have Binance as a partner. And I asked him, why do you have Binance, like sponsor or something? And he's like, yeah, we don't need the money, but they can help us to have people on board. People can use the exchange, they can buy their Bitcoin and off-ramp it to Bitcoin network. And I didn't know much what to say, but after this, it got me thinking more about what's going on here. And this is where like peer-to-peer platforms on chain, and also where THORChain and this whole app layer Rujira comes in, because of course, like you have Binance, you have the Binance route, but it's cool if we can also offer like a different route. Maybe it's peer-to-peer, or maybe it's because of another blockchain that has a good peer-to-peer platform that people can onboard on, like KYC free. And from there, if they want to go directly to Bitcoin network, they can do this through THORChain. If they say, okay, something happens in my life and I want to use my digital gold, my Bitcoin as collateral, and I want to borrow against it just temporarily or something, there are not that many places where you can deposit your native BTC to, like, or you have to go back to Binance or maybe some other like traditional finance company that is centralized, that is a single entity, something like that. So I think this is like a very interesting case for THORChain and Rujira with all these like cool DeFi products and this whole DeFi financial system, decentralized financial system that we are building for people to use. So not saying it's going to be easy, but it's cool that we are having this, potentially financial free, like platform and opportunities for people that they can access from anywhere in the world. Which I just wanted to highlight after you said financial freedom, because this is about moving these funds around like in a free manner.
That is correct. It's
Yeah, I
very
think
simple. Go ahead, Jimbon.
sorry. Yeah, I think what's missing, and that's actually something I don't know if you remember it all, Bunny, but we started working on an on-off ramp platform, which actually failed because we didn't have a dev, and also there was like regulatory issues. So we started launching Coral, which we gave up on because it was for the reason I just mentioned. But it was actually it was gonna fail basically, which was having an on-off ramp without KYC, and that would have been great. And I think that's one of the pieces missing for THORChain and Rujira.
Yes, but because of this whole regulatory field, I'm also thinking that it would be super cool to have this, right? But also, in case to have something like this work, you need to have users, you need to have liquidity, you need to have people that are willing to buy and sell between like what's happening on chain, which there will be some users buying and selling, of course, but they need to be willing to buy and sell against things like Revolut bank accounts or Wise or all these other options. And there it's just gonna be the liquidity is going to be too thin. I'm a little bit afraid. So for now, I'm actually pretty content with saying, hey, we have THORChain, we have Rujira, we have this whole cross-chain infrastructure and this omni-chain vision. And there is actually, a pretty cool peer-to-peer platform on Base. And Base is also connected to THORChain. So it should be pretty straight on to say, okay, I have my TradFi bank account. I'm going to deposit some USD or Euro, and someone is going to like match that on chain. And it's just going to be in my account in a couple of hours. And from there, you have this on Base and you can just deposit it and come to us. So maybe instead of like trying to build that on our own chain and face compliance or regulatory issues, we could also try to optimize a flow coming from another chain that onboards it to us, and for the same way back we can also use it to off ramp.
Speaking of which, right, Danny, I'm not sure, I have this question. I know that within the THORChain ecosystem, Thor Wallet, which is led by Marcel, is already doing some sort of a peer-to-peer. Is that something that very close to what Little Bunny describing, or is actually pretty far away? I'm not sure actually, but I do know that they're kind of like having such a peer-to-peer, or directly using crypto for the fiat, or I don't know, something along the line.
Well, the thing that the Thor wallet they have is they have that banking license, and that really just opens the gate for them, particularly to do a lot of more things that they otherwise could have. A lot of people are envious of them. Is it pure.xyz? Let me bring it up here in just a little bit. Here, let me click that here. Let me share my screen here. That's an interesting question. I actually don't know. I don't know much about this. Like, it's hard to keep up with everything. Go ahead.
I was talking about a friend yesterday about peer.xyz, and I was talking also with PM about this, and their fees are really high. That's one of the main issues, I think. They're like a few percent per trade. I think it's like 4 or 5%, so which is quite a big
I
price
think when you
to
implement
pay
this
not to KYC,
and try to
right? So that's actually not great for.
Yeah, so when you try
Yeah.
to implement this, the fees are a little bit high, I think. But when you are just end user and go through their own platform, I think
Okay.
it can work pretty well. Yeah, it was
Okay, interesting.
amazingly good experience. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the one of the issues, right? The
I
fiat
haven't
off
tried
and
actually.
on ramp is
Maybe I
just
should try.
that's always that one thing. Give it a shot. You might like it. Who knows?
Yeah, you can currently base layer is base blockchain has no deposits and withdrawals. So I think you need to go withdraw or like from Rujira, from THORChain, go to Ethereum and then go to base. Just as a tip for Jambon, but he is lagging a little bit. So he might respond in 5 minutes or something.
Can you hear us, Jambone? I think you can hear us.
But guys, I think it's
Sorry
time
guys,
for me
I
to
think my
leave.
connection is.
Okay, well,
No way.
no worries. Well, hey, how about you guys want to just wrap it here since it's Jane's got to leave and I got
You
it's
guys
getting
can
late for me.
continue if you want.
When the girl leaves, the party's over. Do you understand this, Jane? That's
Time
just
to
the
go
law
home.
of the universe there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
All right. Sorry that I spoiled the party.
No, it's all good, sweetheart. Thanks, good.
Yeah,
Well,
let's wrap it
okay,
up.
guys.
Let's wrap it up.
Then if you're okay to hang out for just yeah, I'll wrap it
Let's
up.
go.
Hey, I'm gonna go around the corner and some final words here before we wrap it up. Jane, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts for the first episode of CrossChain and Chill?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for really making this happen. And so great that you really brought this, CrossChain and Chill again, episode 1, together with everyone. I think let's do this regularly and it'll be so fun. And yeah, let's do our best to catch up again, to bring the community together again, like what Little Bunny mentioned before, right? Earlier on. I think I do agree that the crypto landscape is already changed so much compared to 5 to 6 years ago. Right. And right now, since we already have our system more robust, more stable compared to back then, and it is also time for us to really do our best to really reach out to the mass, to gain awareness, to educate people out there, to attract more new people to come and learn about us, to use our product, to use our protocol. Let's do that. Do it often and regularly. Thank you.
Love it. I'll kick it to you, Little Bunny. Final words, good sir.
Thank you very much for organizing this, and also big shout out to the loyal community. Thank you everyone for still being here. I think it's great, and looking forward to next episodes of this. I think it's quite fun, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, and if you guys have people that you think should be on the show, I am more than willing to entertain suggestions because I picked you guys because you guys are very active and you're wonderful contributors to the ecosystem. That's why I just wanted you guys. I wanted to get you on camera to do this. So thank you guys so much. Jambone, I'm going to kick it to you and then we're going to wrap.
Yeah, I mean,
Jambone,
nothing else to add. I mean,
here we go.
Yes, can you hear me? That's the problem, right? Yeah?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
All right, sorry. Okay, nothing on my end. Like Jane and Little Bunny said it perfectly. Let's kick it up a notch and get community involved and keep using the products. And let's keep doing this CrossChain and Chill. It's pretty cool to talk to people, see their faces, and interact with human beings. Because we're not just bots, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And guys,
before I forget, along the way, let's bring some girls in. Not just let me the only girl here. Not that I don't love hanging out with you guys, but bring some girls to balance it back is still better than just this is imbalance right now.
Where are the girls? Where are the girls? I'm sorry, like I can't get them interested in CrossChain.
You need to bring the chicks. That's your job.
Yeah. Bring the girls.
It is
Yeah.
always attract the opposite. Come on.
I talk to girls about cross-chain stuff. You're the only one that's interested in it, Jane, out of millions of girls. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So you have to find these girls. So I'm sorry. You're going to have to come to every episode of Cross-Chain and Chill now because we need a girl. And that's just the way it is. And I'm sorry. And you don't have a choice. And that's what we're going to do. So, all right?
You know, Daniel, now that you remind me of when I was like last year, I think early of last year, one of the Cross-Chain and Chill early episode, and there were like 2 to 3 girls with me, right, together along with us. And there was one girl, because of something that Danny said, right, and she gone quiet and quit the room, the space.
Oh yeah. I put her on the spot, and I don't know, and I scared her off. I scare women. It is what it is. Jane's the only woman that has not run away. So good on you, Jane, sticking around. I appreciate it. What can you do? What can you do?
Let's try to attract more girls on board, and to have some chat.
When Rune gets to $100 and Ruji gets to $100, we will be inundated with women. There will be so much women, you won't even know what to do. It's okay, Jembone. Don't worry about it, brother. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, you guin. What a fun Cross-Chain and Chill episode. Don't go anywhere, you guys, because you got to upload on your client side. So stick around. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's been really fun. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Sam Yep, who had to leave early. It was great talking to you, buddy. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.